Hi there everyone, welcome to Dandel10n DIMS. Today we're going to have a look at the layout of the GUI questions as asked in theory, and all grades 10 to 12 will benefit from this lesson. This is an example from a past paper where we had to look at a given GUI and then answer questions regarding it. The first question was asking us to comment on the layout. When you are asked about the layout, do not comment on the choice of objects on the form. Those questions will be asked separately. The first thing we always need to look at when we have a form like this is, does it have a title? So that would be one of your criticisms for this form, is that it is lacking a title. The second thing you want to do is to see that information that relates to each other are grouped together. The scenario here was for an exhibition where people wanted to allocate a stand for their product that they are going to sell. The first comment that you could make is that the personal information like the name and the contact number, the gender and the email address is all grouped separately from the information from their company and the product and table requirements and so on. You should also then have a look to see if the form is following the correct layout in terms of input at the top, processing in the middle, and output at the bottom. It could also have the order where we have input on the left, processing in the middle, and then output at the right. You can then further check that all your input and processing buttons have appropriate labels, which it does in this case, and that they are aligned. The next question then asked us to look at the objects that was chosen and identify and suggest better options with a motivation. The first one is to have a look at male and female. Remember, when a checkbox is selected, they can select both male and female. So for that reason, I would suggest that they change the gender to a combo box or a radio group that forces them to select only one of these options. The next object to replace would be the edit box for the size of the table that you require. You could maybe suggest that they enter a number in a spin edit rather, or maybe from a combo box or radio group select the sizes that are available. This form was provided in another paper. And in this case, we had the combo boxes, but here they asked why it was not a good idea to have a combo box for the list of compliments and complaints. The advantage of combo boxes is that the person can select only one, and that we could actually ensure valid input for input from the user. However, if we have compliments and complaints, what the person wanted to say might not be in the list provided. So the combo box could limit the options as to what the user wants to enter. I'm not sure if you guys have used the Uber app to complain or to compliment, but there's only certain options available there, which is sometimes a bit frustrating. One of the questions for this form was why these objects here were not appropriate and would not necessarily give valid input for a date of birth. Whenever you have to talk about valid dates, always keep in mind that February does not have 30 or 31 days, first of all, and then depending on the year, whether it is a leap year or not, it has 28 or 29 days. Apart from February, you would also be able to select April and then 31 there, which would be an invalid date. Shoo, this is a terrible form. We were asked to comment on the layout. Now, first of all, we obviously need a title. If complete the form was the title, that should be moved to the top. That is number one. And then the second thing we have to look at is, does it have a logical flow? Input, processing, output. No, it does not. So we need to move our input objects to the top and then processing in the middle and output at the bottom. Then also we have no label for this edit box here. So we have no clue as what to enter there. The name also does not indicate should we enter the first name, the surname, the second name, the full name. So a clearer instruction there for the label would also be suggested. And then the default values here, text 1 and text 2, will also have to be removed. These edit boxes are also extremely long. We're not sure what they want to enter there, but I doubt we're going to get input from the user that need that much space. This one definitely looks a little bit better, but still we have to comment on the layout of the form. So we have a title there, enter information, but we don't know who is entering the information, who needs to enter the information. So this title can be a little bit clearer to indicate what to do. Then we have the DOB, which I know in IT we often use DOB for date of birth, but we should actually indicate to the user what exactly that means and also the format in which they need to enter the date of birth. I don't know about you, but my home address is much longer than that, so this edit box will have to provide for more information to be entered. Then we have the gender, and here we have several options for gender, so we're not sure if we want to enter M or F or male or female. So a description there of the format of how the person needs to enter the value should be added. Now it's time to look at objects that we would change. First of all, any date I would change there to a date time picker that will force the user to enter a valid date. The address here, we would want to maybe put it into separate lines so that the person can enter their street address and their area and their province or their postal code into several different edit boxes. And then finally the gender again. I would change this to a radio group or combo box to force the user to select only one. Remember, I'm creating this channel for you, so please let me know what you would like me to explain and if you have any other questions, and I'll answer them as soon as I can. Thank you very much for watching Dandel10n DIMS. In the DIMS workbook, you will find more questions relating to the layout of the form, as is asked in often question 5, but sometimes even in question 4 with our database questions. Remember to practice as much as you can. Hope to see you soon.